Hi, everybody. Welcome to Module 6. We're moving right along. I'm really enjoying getting to know you all online. I was finding it a little harder to get to know you online. So I've been reaching out to some of you just to kind of find out how you're doing in the class. So please feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the class. So Module 6. You'll see two videos in this module, and a couple of things. First of all, one has me with Brett Peterson. He and I used to team teach this course, and I love the video that he does because he's such a crack up. He's just a fun guy. It was really fun to do the whole course with him. He taught me a lot about online, and now he's actually the guy that works on the MSW program. So you'll be running into him if you haven't already, and if you go for your MSW. Anyway, this is an important module, though, because it talks about the delivery of social services. And it will be asking you to take a test so you can basically look at government and its role with social services. And we sometimes talk about the invisible role of government. A lot of social services are provided through programs through the Social Security Act. We'll be talking much more about that in a later module. The Social Security Act is a huge piece of legislation and funds much of the social welfare programs in this country. And so those the dollars flow from the federal government, sometimes down to the state government or tribal governments, and then sometimes down to city or state, sometimes down to nonprofits. And so by the time you're using those dollars, perhaps in a one-on-one situation with your client in social work, you may not realize that those are federal dollars and how they've come about. And so sometimes people talk about the government with disdain and don't understand that perhaps they have benefited from the government. We talk a lot about Social Security because, and we'll talk more about this in a later chapter, Social Security has two aspects. One is social insurance, which folks are familiar with probably because it's the dollars that come out of your paycheck that go to pay in retirement. And basically the idea is that each of us pay while we're working so that we can benefit then when we retire. So we'll talk more about that. The other side is public assistance, and there's many, many, many different programs under public assistance. Then there are many other programs throughout the government that benefit people. We've talked in past past modules a little bit about the GI Bill and how that benefited people after the bonus army. So there are lots and lots of programs, and people aren't always familiar with the benefits that they are receiving. And so when they speak about government programs, they don't always understand where those come from. Well, because as social workers, we're often the facilitators of resources, we become the way that those dollars get out to human beings, get out to people who need them. And so this is a very important chapter to read and section to understand through this little test that we do.